Much peace and power and blessings to the truth seekers and the truth tellers. Even though we're living in the age of Aquarius, I feel as though this time and the energy and things is literally making certain things manifest, as well as, the age of enlightenment, the age of knowledge, and the age of knowing. So people speaking truth and doing what is required in this time, which is absolutely speaking truth, because there are so many lies that are being exposed and revealed. So, with knowledge comes wisdom, and when certain deep lies are revealed and you find out the real truth, sometimes that brings sorrow. So people have to be careful with that. But for those of us that can handle it, we absolutely can appreciate the truth, the hard, uncomfortable truth, over the comfortable lies that keep people enslaved in the mind and enslaved in their environments and in this reality. With the truth and acknowledging and knowing the truth is the hard truth that some people can't swallow, which is that we live in a dual world. And even though a lot of us are spiritual beings and heavily focused on the spiritual aspects, there's a lot of us who are absolutely empathic and are aware that there are some dark and negative things that are going on in our world. So certain situations cause for certain energy, certain reactions, certain behaviors, or responses is a better word. Responding to certain things because of the situation at hand. It's kind of like the Goddess Oshun. And Yoruba or Ifa, in the religion and the teachings, it talks about Oshun, who is the goddess of balance. She's love and light, and she's sensual, she's beautiful, sweet, loving, but she's also very destructive and can be very destructive. And when it comes to things like chastising or that mother frequency, the matriarch, she can be very very destructive, and it can be chastising and can be a disciplinary as well. So the uncomfortable truth about the world that we live in is that people don't want to talk about the uncomfortable truths of where there are certain things that are required when it comes to addressing certain issues. Now, if we're going to be around, people, and we are normally around people who are not challenging people, they're easygoing, don't have any issues, they're usually peaceful and things, they're easy to get along with, and everything is easygoing, and there is peace, and then there is harmony. And that will be a reality. But even if that's your reality, it still doesn't change the fact that we live in a very dual world, and there's still people, I keep talking about, and I keep repeating, that there are still people in our world, in our communities, who are suffering, and they are dealing with challenges and issues that maybe we're not dealing with. So with knowing that, does that mean that we're supposed to forget these people? And how do we serve these people? How do we serve one another? How do we address the issues where people are weak, or where people need help and they need guidance, and if they need strength? Because we all have different strengths. All of us don't have to be strong in the same ways, but everybody should be able to bring some level of expertise to, the table where they are strong at. And, keeping in mind that it does not make one, bad or evil. It really depends on what people's beliefs are. But when you're talking about the divine feminine, and when you're talking about, her dual nature, some people don't understand it, but they refuse to understand it. And there is a such thing as the matriarch and the disciplinary, or, you know, that passion, or, you know, what would be considered a destructive nature where necessary. So peace and harmony should always be the mantra and the intention. But I am of the body of people who absolutely believe that there is a cause for certain things. And again, when you talk about the divine feminine, yeah, she's going to be peace and love and very nurturing and sweet and compassionate. But on the other hand, depending on what you're dealing with or what she's dealing with, what is going on in her community around the world, and especially when we're talking about a goddess, you're probably not going to get all peace and love and compassion all the time. It's probably going to be quite absolutely the opposite.